not seeing Roxanne. There we go.
Jump in and join the club and float this Whiskey River reservoir. We're gonna spend the weekend in the deep end of a diving bar.
You know.
The progressive play.
Oh my god.
Wow, this is going to be a fun show.
Good evening, everybody. Hey there. Hi. Can you guys, you ladies, want to introduce our guest tonight?
Amber, please. Do we not have
Hey,
sound?
certainly. So we've got appearing for the second time on the Night Dive, Ali Alexandra.
Hello.
And we've got our other special guest, Frank Analysis. How's it going?
Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for making it to the Night Dive. We hope you all got excellent and rich after your arena sports last night. I hope your hangovers
yeah.
not too bad, but you're here at the dive bar, so feel free to make a Bloody Mary or a chilada and sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
All right, there we go.
Fair
We've got our
use.
fair use out of the way. I guess what
Walk
we
us down.
yeah, let's start out with Franco. Can you tell us a little bit about your show and what you're doing and what's going on? Then we'll let Allie give us a rundown on what she's doing this week.
Yeah, so I'm the host of Frank Analysis. I talk about news and politics. I bring on a lot of guests. We have a lot of fun live panels. I also have solo videos, interviews. And yeah, I try to work with as many people as I can to build unity. And I also try to do on the ground work, although with COVID, it's kind of difficult to do. But yeah, it's a fun show. It's a new channel. It's less than a year old. But yeah, we're seeing a lot of success recently, despite the obstacles that YouTube puts on my channel. But
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Yeah, you call those obstacles?
Obstacles.
Those are like brick walls, dude. Yeah, they're really they're. I know you're not wearing a hat. You usually have a hat on when you're doing a show.
Oh yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's because my hair is getting long. I need a haircut, or I'm fresh off the shower, and then my hair doesn't go where I want it to go, so I wear a hat.
I have
But
this.
My hair's been dry enough today, so
No,
it's
it looks
not wearing
great. You know, ask the ladies. I've got this big hair envy going on, so make sure you stay away from me. I might snatch it off your head.
I've got a COVID barber shop opened up in my kitchen.
Yeah,
me
and
too.
my 10-year-old likes to do her own styling lately, so let me know. We'll send her out to DC.
So, Allie, what's going on? What do you got going this week? I know you've been busy. You've been on several shows, including Franco's.
Yeah, we had a good time. It was fun. Yeah, just trying to collect my thoughts honestly because I've got a few other projects coming up also with Roar. So just kind
Yay.
of doing all that. Tomorrow I have nothing going on finally, so gonna get some stuff done. But yeah, just same old, same old. Just trying to also get some articles pumped out too. It's hard because sometimes like there's so much going on. It's hard to focus sometimes. So just trying to keep all that together. So yeah, good to be here.
I have a question for you. What is your writing process like? Because that's something I personally always struggle with, being super busy, working full time, doing shows. And then like I want to write, but it just like I get blocked. And so I have writer's block more often than say when I was 15 and
Oh yeah.
you know.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand the writer's block. That's something, it comes in waves. Like I'll have like a few weeks where I can just like wake up and I'm like, oh, I can write all this. And then there's some weeks where there's stuff going on, but I can't formulate it. So honestly, my process it's usually like late at night is when I write because I can kind of like just jot things down all day and then kind of put it all together. Because another thing for me that's kind of hard to do is keep it short and sweet. So with articles, especially these days, you can't keep attention for more than a few minutes. So I tend to just write something big and then go through and kind of cut some things out. So there's really no process. That just kind of kind of just go with it because I love writing, so I don't want to make it into too much of a process that's technical. That's just me though.
But your articles are great. You guys can read over on the Rockfin if you go to our article tab over on the Rockfin. Yeah, great job. We love them. Keep it up.
Thanks.
And so that disembodied voice you're hearing, that's Oz. He's behind the camera tonight. And I guess we'll just start going through the deck, Oz.
Yeah, let's go through the deck, and then we'll let Allie and Franco talk about some of the topics that are weighing heavily on their hearts these days. We do have a special guest coming in a little bit later in the show, Carrie Wallace. She's a registered nurse from Washington State, and she's going to speak about our state initiative, Whole Washington, about how to show the rest of the country to get health care for a state. So we're excited about that. But for now, let's start this deck off. All right. Shanda, did you bring this one?
I did. I brought everything.
You brought everything. Okay. I'll let you speak to that.
Okay. I find it obscene. So this is Nina Turner. She says, I find it obscene that Congress is full of millionaires funded by billionaires is trying to means test the difference between 50,000 and 75,000 for a life-saving survival check during a pandemic. We need more working people in our government.
Boy, that sounds good. What do you think of that, Franco? Is that something that you want to hear from Nina Turner? And how do you feel about what she's doing running for office?
That's a good point that she brings up. Like these people, there's people that have been in Congress for so many years that they're so out of touch. They forgot about the struggle that people face. Some of them did grow up, struggling. But then I think the majority of them didn't they grow up wealthy?
Right.
They don't understand the problems that the majority of the country is facing. So they don't feel that urgency to give us checks. They don't feel the urgency to give us universal health care. As far as Nina Turner putting out that tweet, it seems like she may understand. But I don't know. We'll see. I don't have much trust in anybody being in the Democratic Party anymore.
I know. And I love Nina. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I heard a thing today that they're arguing about, I guess Mitt Romney proposed a new parental support bill as part of this too, that would be like either $500 or $750 per month, and it'd be tax credits, but they'd be paying them out monthly per child. So it'll be interesting. I also saw that like, I don't know, like 1 in 4 women have left the workplace because they're dealing with parents in school. And you've got, like, we already have a society that's 50% single moms. And as a single mom, I can tell you, with kids in remote school while I'm at work all day, or grandparents, I know you're a grandparent, Shanda, it's hard as hell. And now half the jobs have benefits. They want more for your money. So now you've just taken like 10 steps back out of your income and what your options are for providing for your family. And there's nothing, there's really nothing except for going completely like flat out to the bottom.
But anything that comes from Mitt is just for show anyways. What's he going to run for president in 2024? So he's going to start throwing some, kind of left-leaning things out there that he knows will get shot down anyways. What's his ulterior motive?
Well, it's pretty popular in Utah.
That's true. It probably more popular than he is.
In Idaho.
You got to appeal to the base. Allie, what is your end on this?
I'm super cynical about politicians today, and honestly, so...
I'm with you. I'm with you. I
can't even fake it. I tried. I'm not good at it.
Well, how many have been co-opted in your mind of all, like the squad and anybody else? I feel like they've been being co-opted, or at least kettled into stumping for a $1,400 check that was originally supposed to be $2,000, and now they're, on their rears about $15 an hour. That's turning into, well, we probably won't get that. What's going on?
No, it got shut down in the vote-a-rama. The Republicans put in this last stimulus that it's off the freaking table. $15 an hour is not going to even be negotiated if you want this bailout package, basically.
Just like, what are they doing? I don't know. What are they doing? Right. So that's honestly how I feel. I mean, sure, that's really great. I'm really glad that she said that. I'm glad she tweeted it, That's great. Can you sense the sarcasm?
Yeah.
I mean, they all tweet stuff. I tweet stuff. Everybody tweets stuff. Like, I don't know. And everyone's like, "Oh, you're so cynical."
Well,
Yeah, I tweet stuff all the time, like with their one sentence or like one phrase thing, like, "Oh, Medicare for all, period." Let's get out of all these wars, period. But then they don't do anything about it.
They don't do anything.
Yeah, so Nina Turner, when she gets into Congress, she may be to the left of, like, let's say she is the most progressive person there. She's going to be by herself. And, like, what, are we going to wait for more Nina Turners to get on only to be disappointed again like we were with the squad?
Right.
Well, that's what the boutique left wants.
Anymore.
Yeah, they annoy me at this point. Like, everyone's like, "Did you see what she said? What she tweeted?" I'm like, "No."
Well, and here's the deal: like $25,000 may make a huge difference in Cleveland. I can tell you on the West Coast, it means jack shit. Like, you're still working paycheck to paycheck. You still can't pay your bills or feed your kids.
Yeah. Same
So
struggle.
you know, I mean, it part of it is a little bit, you know, geographical.
I went on like this online calculator thing to see like what the equivalent of $7, the minimum wage, like $7, and I forgot how many cents is, was in the 80s, which hasn't changed after all these years. $7 back then in the 80s is now equivalent to like $25 today.
Right.
So $15 is nothing.
Wow.
No,
yeah, that's nothing.
They started screaming for $15 an hour in 2010. And we're in 2021 right now, I think.
They want to wait 5 more years.
Well, that's a great segment into our next 2 slides.
All right. What do we got?
We're talking about 15 minimum wage. If you want 15 minimum wage, don't complain when your Taco Bell costs $38 for a burrito. And Brian Taylor Cohen tweets back, the most expensive Taco Bell burrito in Washington, D.C., where the minimum wage is already $15, costs $3.79. And yeah, it's been that way on the West Coast here, you know, Seattle area. We've had 15 an hour since 2013, I think, is when it passed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And we have paid sick and family leave at the state level. So we have a bunch of, you know, so-called progressive policies, but it's still, you know, we have the most expensive housing in the country.
That's true.
But we have the jobs too, you know. It's a balance.
So
it's expensive.
Yeah, I would say so. I brought a little clip from Richie and Medhurst, and then we can get into the 15.
Progressives in the Democratic Party should be fucking outraged. They should be fuming over this shit. Fuming. Do you understand? How can you go on Twitch when your fucking constituents are being told their minimum wage is going to go up to $15 in 4 years? How could you look at this and not be outraged? The $2,000 checks are now $1,400. They're not even recurrent. They're not even retroactive. All of them. How did they get elected? They promised you Medicare for all, Green New Deal, and a $15 minimum wage. All of them. They ran on this. I mean, they should be giving Biden heat nonstop. But not right now, of course, right? They say not right now. No, 2025. What the fuck? $15 is not even enough now. It's not even enough yesterday. It should be in the $22 an hour, $25 an hour range. You know why? Because worker productivity has skyrocketed in the last decades, right? But weirdly enough, somebody in 1968 has more purchasing power than you do right now in 2021 in the United States. Think about that. 1968, man. This is a middle-class American dream. I can go buy a goddamn house. I can start a family in my early 20s. I can buy a car. I just need to go get a job. And I can find a job. There are jobs and they pay good and I can live. No, you can't do that anymore. Not for the last couple of decades, right? Somebody in 1968 has more purchasing power than you do in 2021. That is staggering. That is phenomenal, honestly. And now they're pussyfooting around this. You know, that was one thing where I was proven wrong, where I was like, man, Biden's platform is shit. And then he goes and takes one thing from Bernie Sanders, and what is it? It's the $15 an hour, right? That caught me off guard. I was like, wait, hold on, he's running with that now? Okay. I hope so, even though it should be more. No, they're not giving it to you. What do you mean you're 2025? What do you know is going to happen in 2023? You don't even know if you're going to have the House and the Senate in 2023. Well, hold on. The Senate is in 6 years, but you're going to have midterms again in 2 years in the House. Okay. Are you going to have the House? I don't, with this bullshit going on, I highly fucking doubt it. 2025, Biden might not even be fucking president. Don't you love that when politicians give you legislation and promises, will happen when they're not even in office? Isn't that great? So that way they're not responsible for it. They don't have to worry about it.
Don't you think that all this stuff, even with Turner running and the squad and everything else, they broke it off in our eye about being performative with the force the vote. Oh, it's just a performative action. Well, what the hell are they doing here with the $15 an hour? What are they doing with the $2,000 checks? This is all performative. What do you think, Franco?
This reminds me of when Obama was saying that we were going to get universal health care.
Yeah.
Like when he ran in '08 and then it never happened. We're like, oh, we're going to get it down the line.
Yeah.
And then he was saying like the public option. So like the same thing here, like $15, like, oh, in 2025, what's the reasoning for that? The reasoning is because they want to delay it so much that they don't want to take responsibility for it, like what Richard was saying. And so we don't take our anger out on Joe Biden. We're like, oh, he tried to do it, but he just couldn't do it. They lost some seats in the House and the Senate, and then the Republicans just didn't let him do it. But actually, no, it's not even going to be Joe Biden, right? It's going to be Kamala Harris.
Yep. Yeah, it is.
Savior.
I'll
be waiting for that.
It is. Allie, what do you think, Allie? You think you're going to get that $15 an hour retroactive or what?
No.
No.
I'm gonna say no. I doubt it. I mean, again, I know I'm cynical, but just based on the past, why would I expect anything different? I mean, that's what I mean. These days about this kind of stuff, I can give my analysis of it, but at the same time, their actions, I'm a person where I go by someone's actions, not their words. So their actions aren't really impressing me. I mean, I'm literally speechless. I got nothing.
Right.
I've got nothing.
I've
got nothing to bring to the table.
What is the reasoning that they're using for why we have to wait to 2025?
Because they don't have the votes. I just watched a really disgusting Cenk Uygur and Ryan Grimm interview that happened 2 or 3 days ago. I don't follow TYT. I don't even know how I came across it. But basically, Ryan Grimm just lays it out that even if we have 119 so-called progressives that'll sign on to the legislation we want to support, they won't actually vote for it when they get on the floor, if they ever call for a floor vote. So we need to wait. We need to wait till we have more of those votes and more consensus. But with the way that it's set up, we're set up to lose. I mean, we all see we're going to lose in the next 2, 4, and 6 years. So when will we ever have the fucking votes?
Yeah. And I love how all these people try to explain how electoral politics and voting and such works in the House. Because we haven't all been sitting at home for a year. Really, I mean, I knew before, I'm sure everybody here knew before, but it's not that hard. So when they go on in their tweets about how this all works, well, we won't have the votes. It's just come on, don't you have anything else? And it doesn't help that the press corps for the most part doesn't ever ask them these questions. They ask questions that they know will get them clicks. So
Yep.
Well, Allie, didn't you know that it's pragmatic to just sit on your ass and wait?
pragmatic.
Charge
pragmatic.
Charge Franco. Franco, you get charged $20 every time you say the word pragmatic in the show. So, yeah.
My favorite.
No, not that.
No incremental. That's 100. Okay.
I mean, but seriously, how much money is Elizabeth Warren paying in social media advertising to get in everybody's fucking feed right now to be relevant? She is trying so overtly hard. It's kind of grossing me out.
They're revamping her.
Yeah, and at the same time, I see this headline in one of these organ groups that I'm in, and it's activist preacher William Barber urges Joe Biden not to permit progressive agenda to be derailed by calls for unity. I'm like, what kind of bullshit is this? They were. It was never a progressive agenda. It's the farthest thing from that. But this is the virtue signaling happening. Mm-hmm. And it's absolutely sickening, and everybody sees it. And I don't think they're enjoying all this highlighted attention of all of us being able to watch what they're doing and talking about it in real time. Mm-hmm. They've never had this much scrutiny in the last 40 years. I
don't know about you guys, but Elizabeth Warren's sins are just canceled out when she goes on Saturday Night Live and she has those cringy dance moves.
Oh, God.
It's so embarrassing.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. I know. Ever since she started with her Like, I get it. She wanted to be on Instagram Live back when she was running, and like I think she cracked a beer can open.
Yeah.
I
I
died.
don't have a
God,
beer.
yeah.
I was like, oh, lady.
I'm so relatable. I drink beer outside my house. Like,
Well,
my
it
front
worked
lawn.
for AOC, so why wouldn't it work for her?
Right? Because we're all that stupid. We're like, you know what? Let's vote for her. She drinks beer just like you and I.
I like her dog better than her. I would vote for her dog before I would vote
Right?
for her. She's got that golden retriever.
Give
Have
me
you
a
guys
hug.
seen Jamal Bauman's freestyle? Like his recitation of
No.
Rakim.
No. Actually, I
No,
haven't.
seriously.
He's like freestyle challenge, and then he tagged like Cory Bush and I forgot who else.
Oh,
And
God.
everybody replied to him was like, well, you know, we need Medicare for all. Can you please give us that?
Pretty
I love it.
please.
Yeah, it's like they're like, hey, could you like do something, anything?
Right.
And then
Wait,
stop
let me pull
bullying.
out my magic, hand wish
Right.
number chooser.
I use the old 8-ball, the
Oh,
magic
yeah,
8-ball.
we have one of
That's
those.
my favorite thing. I think we get better results if we gave each congressional member that. So, yeah.
Actually, Freya got one from former congressional candidate Tyler Vega the other day. So I think that one comes with extra special luck
Yeah, it does.
Oh,
for her
that's-
future.
That is a good one. She'll be running for office before you know it.
Yeah.
She is. She's vice president of her school student council.
Right on.
She didn't even tell her mom.
So, hey, let's switch gears a little bit here. Amber, did you bring this, or Shanda? Did you bring this?
I brought this because I brought it for two reasons. Because I want to highlight Kevin over at Black Bear News. He's on the Rockfin. He is our climate guy. I'm telling you, in this movement, you want to know what's going on climate wise, go check out Black Bear News. But yeah, I brought this little clip about a huge glacier burst that wiped out a dam in India.
We talked a little bit about it Friday, but
Yeah.
did you?
Nice. Yesterday. Up to 150 feared dead and more stranded as glacier burst. Sparks. Massive flood in northern India. Let's read on. What a glacier burst. More than 100 people were reported missing after a glacier broke off. Straight broke off a glacier in your butt. A glacier broke off and caused a flood that damaged a power plant in northern India. Wow. The military was deployed to look for
This is not something unique. This is happening everywhere, correct?
No. Yes. Oh my God. I watched a horrifying documentary. I can't remember what it's called, but it was the Alaskan natives that live on the ice pack, like literally showing you that
Yeah.
it's gone.
Yeah.
Like, this is where it was 30 years ago. This is where it was 10 years ago, and it's gone. Like, yeah, we're so screwed.
Yeah, I know that. Most of your stuff is political discourse over there, Franco. What are you guys talking about when do you get on climate very often, and the ramifications?
Yeah, I try to get on climate as much as I can, and I also call out the fake environmental activists like Josh Fox, Bill McKibben,
Yes.
and Naomi Klein. Because look at Naomi Klein. She wrote about all of the corruption of these corporations and that their involvement in all these coups, and now she's taking money from those people. Like, it's so counterproductive. How are we supposed to fight? How are we supposed to combat climate change if they're going to be like the Sunrise Movement, for example, who negotiates with these corporations whose business interest is to overexploit natural resources? Like, how are we going to combat climate change? How are we going to combat environmental destruction? It's not in the interest of these corporations.
Right. And what a lot of the progressive movement, well, I know that kind of the movement that came from the beginning of the Bernie movement, they don't understand that the Green New Deal is being weaponized just to fill the pockets of these resources, these finite resources that are being stripped around the world. Well, so what if we build something green if we're still pulling and using the same amount of, carbons and harvesting the same amount of, resources that we were? Most people don't understand that. That was one that was hard for me to grasp at first. Like, oh no, the Green New Deal, I've been supporting the Green New Deal. Whoa, the Green New Deal's bad.
It doesn't do anything about imperialism either. Like, it doesn't call out the military, which is like the biggest contributor to climate change. And with imperialism, we're going to be stealing resources from other countries. Like, we're going to take cobalt from the Congo. We're going to take lithium from Bolivia. Yep. We're going to use that to generate solar panels for these corporations. Like we're still creating environmental destruction that
Right.
way.
But they're
Don't forget
green.
my favorite uranium with the 12 different mega small nuclear reactors going in places like Idaho that are not very stable and very toxic.
But it's the future, right?
You can just ask Hillary Clinton about uranium one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would love to.
exactly.
I would love to.
Me too.
We've invited her. She hasn't appeared yet.
She hasn't gotten back to you yet.
Got back to us.
Still waiting.
Still
Maybe
waiting.
we can do our
we're
podcast.
deplorables. Yeah, yeah. Well, we're not the deplorables. I think we're like one step above. I don't know. I'd be proud to be a deplorable.
Implorables.
What do you got here, Shanda?
So this is an article I came across. So new law requires federal agents to identify themselves to protesters. Tucked inside the National Defense Authorization Act, HR 6395, which just became law, is a new requirement from federal military and civilian law enforcement personnel involved in the federal government's response to civil disturbances to wear visible identifications on themselves and the name of the government entity employing them.
What?
What do we think of this? I mean, we saw in Seattle and Portland this year, they were masked. We didn't know who they were. They wouldn't answer who they were. They were just kidnapping people literally off the streets, throwing them in minivans and driving off with their friends standing there going, who the hell was that? And where'd you take my friend? So, I mean, I love this. This is great. I'm glad it got put in there. But will they actually adhere to it? Come on, just like their cameras are never on.
And that they cover up all identification to begin with. I would love it if this was a reality.
Right.
I would love it. But then they'd immediately use it. They would stalk you. They would show up at your house and arrest you for a 12-year-old parking ticket like they've been doing in Seattle all summer.
It's insane.
Do I have a 12-year-old parking ticket? Shit.
But you know what? You know the best way to find a federal agent?
Commit a crime?
This summer, also in Seattle.
What?
Find them on Tinder.
Find him on Tinder? No way.
Oh yeah.
No,
Yeah.
really?
Absolutely. Yeah.
What is that? Is that
totally
a dating
fucking with
app or something?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Hookup culture.
Hookup culture.
is.
We'll teach you next Saturday, Oz.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
I could
I am
Wasn't
old.
this legalized under the Obama administration which Biden was a part of, like with militarizing
Yes,
the police?
sir.
Oh, yeah.
Purpose?
Oh yeah. You betcha.
Exactly.
You betcha.
And then these people who claim to support BLM voted for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't make
So
sense.
That's the right thing to do.
It's
It
the
doesn't
right-
make any sense because people have like the memory of like, I don't know, like it lasts like a day, if that. And I mean, my memory's not great, but like exactly, Franco, like that was part of all of it. And Joe Biden always, again, he ran on his accomplishments / association up from the Obama administration. And I mean, yeah, that's good that they'll identify themselves if they do it, but like, and I mean, I'm asking for a lot here, but could we possibly talk about why they're protesting? Like maybe we should like also address, you know, like I would like for the government to address why people are protesting. But I know I can't have everything. I know.
Exactly. Like look at the root cause. Like how can we stop protesters from coming out? They think that by punishing them that's going to make them stop.
Right.
No, you got to look at the root problem. They're protesting because they're being oppressed. So give them the things that they need and they won't be out there protesting. Like if they have their basic needs, they wouldn't be out there.
It's really that simple.
It is.
We can just run the country. Forget them. Let's just
I'm all for it. You got my vote. Absolutely.
Got my vote too.
What do you got up here?
Oh, I brought this for Klaus Schwab.
Klaus Schwab. Oh, wow.
My friend Dell.
You're sneaking out on me, huh, there, Shanda? All right, here we
The
go.
Corbett Report.
The Corbett Report.
There's a video that I've seen from the World Economic Forum of Klaus Schwab. Let's play that really quickly and take a look at this.
It is obvious that we are in the midst of the most severe crisis the world has experienced since World War II. 75 years ago, countries and people came together to shape the post-war global order, which brought us decades of peace, increased global cooperation, and prosperity to hundreds of millions of people around the world. The COVID-19 crisis has shown us that our old systems are not fit anymore for the 21st century. It has laid bare the fundamental lack of social cohesion, fairness, inclusion, and equality. Now is the historical moment, the time not only to fight severe virus, but to shape the system for the need for the post-corona era. We have a choice to remain passive, which would lead to the amplification of many of the trends we see today. Polarization, nationalism, racism, and ultimately increased social unrest and conflicts. But we have another choice. We can build a new social contract, particularly integrating the next generation. We can change our behavior to be in harmony with nature again. And we can make sure that the technologies of the fourth industrial revolution are best utilized to provide us with better lives. In short, we need a great reset.
We need a great reset. So those were all conspiracy theorist words that we're not allowed to say, right? Like the Great Reset, the fourth industrial revolution. There's a couple more in there. What else were they?
Social contract.
Social contract. Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Klaus, thanks for stopping by and bringing us that. You're killing us.
But you couldn't get any more comic booky villain than Klaus.
Oh my God, Dr.
So obvious.
Evil. Yeah.
How do people not see this?
Ernst Blofeld. We've got Lex Luthor is Jeff Bezos, but that guy was Ernst Blofeld. So,
who's
Well,
Elon
and
Musk?
the fact that he's literally written books. Like it's people are like that's fake news, that's,
right.
You're such a I am the ultimate conspiracy theorist, but come on. If you haven't been paying attention, they have been putting this out in print for a decade.
Yeah.
For a
They
decade.
tell you.
This is
They
not
tell you.
fucking new. It's
They
not
tell
new news.
you. I can't get over it. They tell you. Like, you can just go to the website. Everybody's like, oh, what are you talking about? I'm like, I'll show you the website. I will give you the link. And then they look at it and they're like, well, I don't know. I'm like, okay, well, you're beyond saving at this point. I mean,
Follow the money.
yeah, this is social conditioning gone wild, guys.
It's in the front page of a Time magazine.
yeah, that too.
Come on.
It's so creepy. Like, okay, Klaus, like, who asked you to redesign the world for us? He's actually here in the chat again, so maybe he can answer.
Robert,
Thanks, buddy.
Iron Man was off
it
for it.
sounds like it's so like doomsday because they're like, oh, in that you guys saw that commercial, right? Or that trailer about the Great Reset. It's like, that sounds like a conspiracy theory.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because it fucking does.
Yeah, right. Like, they brought it in for opening week. I'm just like, you fucking weirdos. Like, it's a conspiracy theory. Like,
It's the conspiracy of how they take your retirement funds, put you in the poorhouse in a virtual headset, Bitcoin your children, and put them on the blockchain, and enjoy the rest of your lives ever after. Sayonara.
it's a fun simulation that we're in. And honestly, lately we've been watching a bunch of Marvel movies, and I keep finding all these parallels to reality. It's freaking me out. It's freaking me out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does freak me out. Hollywood does parallel almost all of this. Yeah. Soft disclosure is what they call it.
Oh,
Sorry,
before we do the segue in here, you guys know about The Boys, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys saw a season 2?
Yeah.
So you saw like the AOC character
Yeah.
ended up being controlled opposition.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how they ended it. That with that
Exactly.
AOC character. That was
Exactly.
it was scary.
She's made for TV. That's why I call her reality TV progressive.
Yeah,
There's
she had
ideas
that
from
audition.
real life.
yeah.
They do. They either take ideas from real life, or they're like, hey, we have got a tip from big guys upstairs, so we'll just kind of twist this for you into a film and you'll like it. And then when it happens to you in real life, they'll be like,
Right.
wow, it was like
Yeah.
that movie I saw.
Guess what? Wake up.
Yeah.
Now, Shandy, you brought this from our friend Jackson Hinkle, right?
Yeah, Jackson did a show on this yesterday. AOC won't rule out primary challenge against Chuck Schumer. So he put a poll up asking people if they thought that this would actually happen. And when I checked it this morning, it was still 19%. It was up to 2,000 votes. So, yeah, people aren't falling for this diversional bullshit. Because, come on, if she won't take on Mama Bear, she ain't going to take on old Chucky.
No.
No way.
No.
Death sentence.
What do you think? Do you think she's playing at it here, or do you think she's serious, or what do you think? What do you think, Ellie?
I kind of feel like she might do it. I don't know. I could
Really?
be crazy. Yeah, I really do. For Senate, maybe, because they have been talking about that for a while. I mean, this isn't even really up to her. Who knows? But I could see it. I won't rule it out. I mean, she could just be posturing, but I feel like that could be why, or at least another reason why she may have avoided a lot of topics like force the vote, stuff like that, because when she's running for Senate, she needs a lot more support from people who have a stake in, you know, something like Medicare for all, meaning they would lose money. This is just me, like, you know, like a side piece. I think I could see it. Now, I don't know if she'd win though, but people especially think that she's really, really popular because, you know, they're all in echo chambers.
Yeah.
And I would love to just understand like a general like idea of like what people think of AOC like on a national level. Because I know obviously on the left what people think of her, and I know what people on the right think of her, but I just want to know like the middle. I'm curious what they think of AOC.
I mean, it'll create the illusion that progressivism is winning because now we have AOC in the Senate, right? Maybe the donor class are thinking, you know, Chuck Schumer, you served your role, but let's make way for AOC, who's more popular. She has more influence. Let's give the progressives the illusion that they're winning by having AOC in the Senate. That's the only way I see her running for Senate to replace Chuck Schumer, is that it's in order for the donor class to benefit. I don't see it as that far-fetched.
Right.
I agree. That makes sense because they haven't had really anybody in the Senate yet. Like, I mean, they say sometimes who they say. I think it's Kamala, they say, Bernie. They're like, oh, they're the progressives. I mean, there's a few others. I just don't really pay attention to what they say because it's not real. But I could see that. Like, hey, guys, look, you're making it now. Just be a little more patient and we'll get a couple other progressives in like 10 years, okay? Cool. Like,
Dangle the carrot a little farther, a little faster. Keep donating every month.
Yeah, go back to
maybe
sleep
someday you'll get somewhere.
Right.
Work really hard. Sound like anything else?
Yeah.
I just want to shout out. We got some tips over on Rockfin.
Oh, please shout those out.
Knowledge really quickly. Franklin Walbrown says, thank you for joining the Federation of Independent Media, Ali and Franco. And we've got Snorky says, where'd I go? He has a minor experience with nuclear materials and grad radio toxicology training. He does not trust nuclear industry or see the need for nuclear power when we haven't adequately investigated non-nuclear alternatives. Real shocker because they don't get all the benefits of the reimbursements and contracts. Brett McKinney tipped a whopping 20 bones and says, thank you for joining the panel, Ali and Franco. Panels like this are always informative. Yay. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for supporting our little endeavor over here.
That's great.
Fighting for the truth and trying to have a little fun and not get too serious at the same time.
Yeah, keeping us well mentally oiled, I guess, or something. Before we bring our guest in from Whole Washington, we want to finish this segment out. Good news from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez here, right? This is official. If you have lost a loved one due to COVID-19, you will soon be able to get reimbursed up to $7,000 for the expenses of laying a loved one to rest. Proud and thankful to have gotten this done with Senator Schumer and I don't know who those other people are.
But she's going to primary him.
But she's going to primary him. She's going to. She's going to primary.
I'd just like to put an extra special thank you out to all the medical coders who changed their entire policies at every single medical institution across this land to have new codes to code COVID. Thank you.
Really?
As a former medical coder and medical pillar, I appreciate your work.
There you go.
Well, I gotta say I'm glad about this. You know, I brought that report from the LA mortician, the Ask a Mortician. You'll find her channel on YouTube. And LA is in serious trouble. People don't have money to bury their loved ones. Bodies are piling up because, you know, it's $1,000 just for a cremation. And so a lot of these families are completely destitute. They don't have the money to get their dead family members out of hock, literally is what it comes down to. And so this is a positive thing, and I'll give her the pat on the head she deserves for it. Good job, AOC.
Yeah, absolutely.
They don't have to throw them out on Skid Row with the rest of the homeless yet.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
But they would have probably done that had they not passed this.
Yeah, and they were last week. I think Shannon and I were talking about they were loading them up in boxcars because they didn't have the facilities and body bags and boxcars. So That being said, we're going to bring our local individual, Carrie Wallace. She's an RN in Washington State, and she's been doing some great things to push forward a healthcare initiative that I'm going to let her talk about. So let's see if we can get her in here and make sure we hear her. Carrie, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can. Go ahead and
All right.
tell everybody about yourself and what you've been doing.
Sure. My name's Carrie. I'm a nurse by background, and I was recently elected to state committee woman for the 20th Legislative District here in Washington State. I had the pleasure of attending several meetings that were no fun to attend, but thankfully, the topic of universal health care came up, and in an interesting way. We had a visitor who tried to kind of segue Annette Cleveland's bill as a real universal health care. And I think we had a very good discussion on the fact that that bill is definitely not intended to pass universal health care, and brought forth SB 5204, which is the whole Washington Health Trust bill. And we're able to talk in that group about the benefits. There were some really good questions about Medicare and how this impacts Medicare, and if it's a Medicare-like product, because our elder population is really of the same mind that Medicare isn't good enough. It's not anywhere close to what they had in their union positions. It's not anywhere close to what they need. It's not financially feasible to live on. And so I think when we talk about Medicare for all, that's one of the biggest hurdles is that we've named it Medicare for all. And that generation of folks is against, saddling their children and their children's children with a product that's not worth having. So SB 5204 is not that. It is a fully funded state-based universal healthcare bill that's incredibly comprehensive. It covers the transition period that would be necessary until we can get waivers in place. It covers an incredible amount of essential medical services. I have a list here that I tried to have ready, but hang on one second. Those things include dental, postpartum care, inpatient, outpatient care, 24-hour emergency services, prescription drugs, and to the point where there is a maximum out-of-pocket expense per annual out-of-pocket expense for drugs of $250, which would be amazing for most Washingtonians are paying way more than that for their drugs right now. Medical devices, biological products, mental health services, and substance abuse treatment, which is another huge need in our area, everywhere, especially with COVID-19. But anyway, reproductive care, physical therapy, palliative care, dental, which I can speak to from a personal note, is something that I don't understand why our mouth is not included in our medical care. It's linked to cardiovascular health. It's part of, what makes you self-esteem. Your smile is tied to your connection with people. And I just think dental care does not get enough clout when we have these conversations. What else do we want to talk about? So at that meeting, we did make a motion to endorse SB 5204. We made a subsequent motion to put some action behind that, to write a letter, a notification of endorsement to Annette Cleveland, who is being a barrier right now, really holding that bill in committee. She's not allowing it a hearing. We also put a letter together to our LD20 representatives. They are all Republican, unfortunately, but they do represent us. So we did send them a note that said, hey, we've endorsed this bill. We'd like you to support it. We sent thank you notes to those 7 sponsors of the bill. I think it's important that they hear when they've done a good job, even if it's not all of the work that they're doing is, even if we don't support every action they've made, let them know when they've done something we do support, I think is helpful. Right. And then a group of whole Washington volunteers were able to talk to SB 5204 and the fact that it's kind of stuck in committee at a hearing today for the other universal health care bill that was that kind of launch pad this conversation in our Democratic LD20 meeting. So that is SB 5399. And it is really just a delay measure. It's meant to kick the can down the road as slowly as possible. It's setting up a commission that would be a lot like the Universal Healthcare Work Group. We just paid $500,000 for folks to get the answers we need, which is that universal healthcare works, it improves outcomes, it saves a ton of money, and it's really what we need to be doing right now. So I talked a lot. I don't know.
No, you
very
gave us
passionate
all
about this.
amazing information. And I got to say, we are so proud of you for laying the groundwork for doing this in Washington State. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, especially if you're watching from another state, of what's going on here, but we're literally doing this one neighborhood at a time. And we get into the Dems and we get these endorsed across the state. And you were the first one out the door. And thank you so much for laying the groundwork for that. And I'm appealing to everybody, please get in there and push this resolution. Get these resolutions passed in your local area, so then we can put the pressure on them.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I have to give Carrie great kudos, because she inspired me to find this fellow to speak today. And this is just one of the testimonies that was given today at the meeting. And I thought it was pretty good. So let me run this. It's just a short one. It's about a minute and a half. So let's take a look at it so everybody can see what we're doing in Washington State to fight to get a Medicare for All healthcare program.
And I just want to preface that this sweet lady is Annette Cleveland behind us, who works in the healthcare consulting field and takes buco bucks from Raytheon,
thousands,
hundreds of thousands of dollars from the chemical cartel and all their cronies to do exactly what she's doing, which is block this bill from coming forward.
Anyway, this guy asks her to bring it forward. Can we hear that?
Carla Fave, and we'll come back to Ms. Everson if she joins us later.
Good afternoon, Chair Cleveland. I'm Rick LaFave, and I live in the 20th Legislative District. I appreciate the opportunity to discuss why I'm not supporting Senate Bill 5399. Whereas Senate Bill 5399 requires the Commission to spend another 2 years to study and submit a report that essentially duplicates the effort of the last 2 years of dedicated work completed by Universal Healthcare Working Group Senate Bill 5204. That actually gives the board of the whole Washington Healthcare Trust and its working committees the direction and the ability to establish a benefits package and a funding mechanism, necessary premiums, develop guidelines and quality standards, and many other necessary rules to establish the trust fund quickly and with due diligence. The work of this proposed commission in SB 5399 has already been done. We have listened to all too often to public testimony of medical debt and bankruptcy due to underinsured and the uninsured. We don't need to wait until 2026 to achieve comprehensive universal health care for everyone in Washington State. We must not wait another 5 years to give our citizens the dignity and security they deserve to be able to obtain the health care they need from any provider in Washington State without risking their financial security and emotional well-being. I respectfully encourage and request this committee have a hearing on Senate Bill 5204. It's the right thing to do. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. LaFave. Thank you for your testimony. Thank you for.
Woo, 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 woo,
that guy wasn't too bad for having an abscessed tooth, was he?
You did awesome considering you had your tooth yanked out just a few hours before. I'm so proud of you. Great job, Oz.
Yeah, thanks. But that was the inspiration that people like Carrie Wallace and many other wonderful people working with whole Washington have done. And this has been a love of yours working on for what now, Carrie? 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, I've been peripherally involved for 4 or 5 years, and then actively involved. We organized a die-in at one of their meetings that literally they were pulling together all of the great minds of the state to talk about healthcare, and universal healthcare wasn't even on that agenda. It was kind of gross.
And this is
Paid for by insurance companies.
This is exactly what we're up against. But if Washington State can do it, everybody, all your states in that chat, you guys can do it too. Some of you are probably already doing it. I want to give the opportunity to Franco and Allie to speak on this a little bit before we head to the next topic, and then we'll be finishing up the show. Allie, what do you think of those efforts of Carrie and everybody else in Washington State? Do you have something similar there, or?
Well, not as effective in Illinois. Honestly, no. So first of all, Carrie, thank you. It was good to hear everything about the work you're doing. And as that video of you, I have a lot of respect for you. Well, even more because after anything with the teeth work, I do not like to do anything after that. But yeah, in Illinois, we really don't have anything close to that because in this particular state, the healthcare industry, and I say industry and meaning, and like they do just fine with people being sick. They're doing very well right now. So they're not really. It's a different kind of movement, I would say. It's like masked and like doing something similar to like what they're doing in Washington, but I would say it's not anything close. So, I think Washington's a great example of showing other states how a lot of times you can't do things federally, but you can show one state can at least do it, and then it can move forward from there. I know that I've learned a lot about that the last few months as far as like different actions that groups take. Like when I was speaking with DSA, they're more involved in doing things like state by state. So I feel like in Washington, you guys are always doing good work out there. The rest of the country is a long way to go as far as catching up. But yeah, so thank you for sharing that. That's great information.
One of the main bonuses of taking Boeing to Illinois was so that they could switch their health care coverage to be an Illinois-based plan to cover all of their employees. So, thanks, Rom.
Socialize the losses there. Franco, do you have something going on in your area that's for healthcare for all?
I don't think so. Washington State is way more progressive than Maryland. Maryland is pretty neoliberal. But I really, Carrie, thank you so much for the information you gave. That's a great point you were giving about dental care. It's not given enough attention. Like that is directly tied to what the other stuff that happens in your body. And what also doesn't get enough attention is your mental health. Your state of mind, like your mental health, is directly tied to your immune system. If you don't have a good mental health, if you're depressed or if you're dealing with a lot of anxiety, then that lowers your immune system, and it should be given more attention. But I don't know, it feels like we're still in the dark ages in this country when it comes to healthcare. Yeah, it does. But yeah, thank you so much for all the work that you do, Carrie.
Yeah, thank you.
I just also want to preface too that it covers alternative care treatments such as acupuncture and chiropractic and massage and naturopathic care and doulas and birth care, because these are often people are like, why do I want to fight for such a broken system? And they don't realize how broken our actual healthcare system is, and that we don't put attention to that as well. And so that's a huge piece of whole Washington that I'm so proud to be able to support. And I drive around with a advertisement on 3 sides of my van every day for it. And continually keep working to push that. So check out wholewashington.org. You can also check out One Payer States. If you're in California, there's a huge kickoff happening this week for California. There's ways you can get involved with bilingual texting and phone banking, and we're really working with our unions across the country to help them realize their bargaining power with this as well.
Carrie, just last thing. Now, this is going to save quite a bit of money for the state by doing this. That's correct. Do you have a figure or a ballpark?
Yeah, so the study that's connected to the whole Washington bill estimates we would save $9 billion a year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's impressive. The healthcare work group that the HCA put together, even they had, the folks involved in that study were multifaceted, but let's be realistic. The actuary doesn't necessarily want universal health care. And even in that study, they estimated over $1 million of savings in the first year. And that's the year where you put out the most money to set things up, that when things are brand new. So even in that first year, they estimated over $1 million of savings with increases every year to those savings. So, and that's taxpayer dollar savings, that's state money savings. That represents a huge amount of money that could be going towards actual healthcare, taking care of patients. So it's huge.
Yeah, it is huge. It is. As a matter of fact, this clip was, I'm going to clip this. This was a good segment. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carrie, and thank you, everybody, for the kudos for Whole Washington. They certainly deserve it. They've been busting their ass and fighting against all odds. But like I told Annette Cleveland, who takes hundreds of thousands of dollars from these lobbying firms, it's the right thing to do. I hope she does, because if she doesn't, we're going to have to switch it up. Anyway, thank you so much, Carrie, for joining us tonight. And you just keep up the good fight. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right, let's get that wonderful woman's face out of there and move on. Oops. Let's see, where are we at there?
I really liked that video.
I know you did. I know you did. That was something. So I just got
great job, Oz. I know you had a rough day, so I'm glad you pulled that off.
That's a bad day.
Yeah, that was something. Now we gotta liven it up a little bit before we go out of here. Go ahead. This is yours, Shanda.
This is House drinker Nancy Pelosi.
All right. All right. No offense. No offense, Nance. Not really.
Oh, God.
House drinker, did you violate the new House security measures?
Listen up, peasants, okay? I make the rules, okay? I don't have to follow them. I am House drinker, okay? I'm not some broke, poor housewife on welfare collecting unemployment, getting child support from my baby daddy, while on government assistance waiting for my food stamps and stimulus check to arrive. No, I am House drinker, okay? I'm in charge. I make the laws. I am above the law. I am the law!
But House Drinker, you made a law saying that everyone must walk through a metal detector!
Silence, peasants! I didn't make that law for me or my fellow Democrats. I made that law for Republicans only, okay? Republicans are the enemy within, all right? Republicans are the real problem in this country, all right? You don't see Democrats causing trouble or damaging property or rioting. No, that's a Republican thing. That's always been a Republican thing. That's why Republicans and Republicans only need to walk through metal detectors before coming to work. Understood?
But House Drinker, the rules clearly states that anyone who breaks this law will be fined $5,000.
You think I care about $5,000? You peasants are hilarious. It's like I use $5,000 as toilet paper, okay? I'm rich. Everybody wants to be me, all right? $5,000 is nothing to a person like me. It's a trip to the store to buy ice cream, okay? I'm no peasant. I'm law, okay?
Oh, shit.
Didn't she buy a bunch of Tesla, Amber?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she bought a bunch.
I didn't want to spoil it for tomorrow when we get to our financial advice of the week.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, there's the next clip. I'll have a little Tesla for you, Shanda. You know, she doesn't know anything about this, though.
I love this guy. He's hilarious.
Yeah, you brought Mr. Spandex. I love it. He's so fun. Oh,
we were going to get you a pair, too.
Thank you. That's just what I need.
As a Tesla owner, my self-identity is wrapped up in my car. And I can confidently tell you that the best way to care for the environment is to drive a $110,000 electric car, because it has zero emissions. And I want you to know from the bottom of my Tesla-owning heart to you, if you don't drive a Tesla, then you're selfish and clearly hate the environment.
Luxury EnviroShame.
Caring about the environment's the convenient rationalization I use to cover up my real motivation for buying a Tesla. Materialism and wanting the status it gives me. But as a Tesla owner, I don't acknowledge this truth, and neither should you. Instead, I'd rather just have you think I'm rich and that I care about the environment. How in the hell do you close this thing?
Gotta get my DeLorean back.
I love to carbon shame people for driving regular cars. They have the carbon footprint of a Sasquatch in a china shop. I have no idea why people drive regular gas guzzling cars instead of a 6-figure zero emissions Tesla like me. I just don't get it. Teslas are the $20 green juice of cars. You have no idea why you're drinking it, but you do because everyone else in the upper middle class community is, and you want to feel included. A secret that all Tesla owners know is you no longer have to do something admirable to be admired. You just have to own a Tesla.
I love that.
Me too. He's so funny.
That's JP over there, Awake with JP. So thank you for
He's coming to Tacoma next month, he says.
Oh, cool.
I know. Some things wrong, though.
Well, yeah.
But it's so funny.
Just saying. Saying.
Yeah, well, yeah.
We know you're all carbon shamers out there. I just
Yeah, we are. What is
That
this?
video's so funny.
What is this?
What is this? The International Monetary Fund calls for credit scores to be tied to your internet search history.
I want all my friends to get on here right now and say I told you. I told you so. I hate being right. I don't want to be right, but I said it, and I'm not right on everything. But just wait.
Are you
till a year from
concerned
now.
about your social bond?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I am. Frankly, I don't.
For your kids? Have your kids invested enough in cryptocurrency pre-womb?
Yeah, right. They'll have this little score before they even come out.
I thought the kids were the currency now, aren't they?
Right, their data,
That's their data currency.
Yeah.
That's
They are
what
the
it is.
currency.
That's
But it starts now, before they're conceived.
yeah.
Okay, Nira, you've been waiting all night.
This is it. This is the big show. This is the PSA resistance of the show.
Resistance.
All right.
Shots for the dive bar.
Tomorrow, we're going to see Bernie out there toting some narratives we don't like, and it's going to start all with Nira Tandon.
No, really? Never would have guessed.
Oh, God.
So this is a propaganda piece that I found that I just had to bring you guys because it's so fucking hilarious.
The Senate is deliberating on a healthcare package behind closed doors.
Oh, God.
Mostly a bunch of white guys who won't tell us what's in their healthcare bill.
Yeah.
What they're hoping is they'll just ram it through with only limited time to debate. There's basically no one will know what's happening, and they'll just pass a bill that will affect 1/6 of the economy.
Like what happened in Utah.
Yeah.
This is a deep
Well,
fake.
she's a woman of color. Culinary workers don't know.
Here's her background. She went to
They're gonna need a larger
UCLA. Of course, she's involved in politics.
Thank God.
Days. Give her a break, Shanda.
But I love this one. Oh no, it's the next one. She was the vice president of the student body.
Purple.
Michael Dukakis.
Right?
I was Team Dukakis way back
Did he
when.
lose?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I need that Biden.
He was raised by a single mom on welfare.
She learned a lot though.
Being on welfare, yeah.
This made her a huge advocate of the government.
Perfect. This is a perfect role.
Cool video and music they did.
Right?
Can we go back a few? Because that really sealed the deal for me.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Get out the mop.
Oh damn. She's sporting camo mask.
You betcha.
She's a war hawk.
Support the troops,
Is that
baby.
what that office does? Okay, I didn't know.
Critique?
Let's critique her.
Come on. Doubts?
Oh, she attacks the GOP.
hate?
Is that why they call her a Nazi?
Filled with hate.
Woke left? Who are these people?
Oh God.
Whew, save the day.
Oh.
Oh my
that
God.
messing.
Oh no. Grace.
Where's her publicist fixing this?
Oh my God.
Disgusting.
Oh Jesus.
Who's this?
That's embarrassing.
Whoever said she's the embodiment of neoliberalism was spot on.
Yeah,
Yeah, she is.
Give them that. Yeah, Nira, I know
Totally.
you're in this chat, so that wasn't your best look.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Defend yourself now.
She said that it was a deep fake.
What are all the Bernie sycophants going to say when he votes for Neera Tanden? Because at this
I
point,
know.
I'm expecting
Right.
that.
Bernie sycophants.
He just had to. He didn't have a choice, clearly.
Yeah, watch your tone.
Anything done, he's going to have to, make some sacrifices.
No, but
There's
really,
the-
yeah, I wonder what they're gonna say.
There's an article that Glenn Greenwald wrote that he predicted what Bernie Sanders would say. It's like, I voted for Joe Biden and I trust him and I know that if he picks Neera Tanden and that's who the people want. Like, come on, Bernie. After what she did to you,
Bernie.
after what she said about your supporters, after she rigged the primaries against you.
Yeah. Call
This
us
is what
Bernie
the-
bros, flipped us off, you name it. Yeah.
How is this what the people want?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That was a good Bernie impression, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
it
It
was.
was. It was really good. It was great. You missed
Very
your
good.
calling, Franco. You should,
Yeah. There you go. Let's back up.
yeah, yeah. So what are you gonna? I just brought up the fact last week in Bernie's first speech as budget guy that he was using Joe Biden's rhetoric on the $2,000 $1,400 bill. It's a we got you the $600 and we're gonna get you the $1,400 and make it $2,000. And we all call bullshit on that. And I'm still picking the rotten fruit out of my orifices from all the Bernie groups that I'm in. How dare I say anything about Bernie? And you know what? I'm not a Bernie crack. I don't identify as one anymore. I mean, that ship sailed when he did not break it off in Joe Biden's eye in the last debate they had last spring. There were 5 times where Joe Biden lied, just straight out lied to the country on everything, and Bernie did not lift a finger to knock him down.
Go to the YouTube and
counting?
see it for yourself.
Yeah, Google it.
Yeah, I was counting. Are you kidding me? Yes, absolutely. And
How
that's
dare you question the leader?
well, at the end of the night, we all knew that Bernie was done, didn't we?
Yeah, I did.
That was it. We were done. He did not.
then?
He did not knock him down. So again,
But Mittens speak.
oh God.
Kill your idols.
Yeah, they had a pair of those. Yeah, they had a pair of those mittens on Belichick yesterday when.
Well, Bernie was at the Super Bowl. Did you see his cardboard
Really?
cutout that somebody had at the Super Bowl with his mittens? He was sitting behind Eminem.
Oh well, good, good. And,
perfect.
And the president
for the
was
poor.
at the Super Bowl, from what I hear. So.
Oh yeah.
What?
Sure.
He was?
Yeah, he was. He was.
Like he actually was not a cardboard cutout like Joe Biden.
No, I
at the
thought
Super Bowl?
didn't he speak before the Super Bowl started, or was that a
I don't know. I don't watch the commercial
broadcast?
crap.
I didn't watch it. What do you got here?
I hate those. Like everyone's like, I don't watch the Super Bowl. I really didn't watch it yesterday. Though.
I-
I watched for the Illuminati symbolism, and I got to say, it was really
Ooh.
lacking this year.
Was it?
Yeah, it really was. Just a
I
little
heard
bit,
there-
but
I heard there was going to be a whole bunch of like burlesque, and that was supposed to.
No, it was.
no, they had those dudes with the freaking jock straps on
Yeah,
their
it was
face.
halftime depends
Oh, those are
commercial.
masks.
That was upside down depends on their head. They were.
So
They
Joe
were.
Look like
Biden
jock
was
straps.
there.
Yeah, they were. They were
Biden.
terrible.
Wow.
Wait a second. He was there, but like,
I heard. I
He was
listened
in
to
the
it.
Super Bowl.
I-
I missed it.
I listened to it and I heard him speak before. I don't know if it was recorded or not. So
It was
somebody.
probably via the White House.
Yeah,
or
it's
something.
probably broadcast out of his basement or something. I don't
Yeah,
know,
he's
but I
still in
heard
his
him. I heard him. I didn't watch it, but I heard. I listened to it.
AOC official in our chat says, "Oh my God, I love sports."
Super Bowling Rock. Super Bowling Rock. You guys are having.
Baskets. 2 points for you.
You're having
She
too
loves
much fun there in
sports.
chat. You're too much
yeah,
fun.
this chat and
Yeah.
Mira's here. Joe, I'm gonna have to look that up and see. If Joe, I think I did actually. Now that I think about it, like in scrolling on a feed, I saw like on the was it like one of the bigger boards at the Super Bowl, Joe and Jill They're
clearly
here
he
in this
doesn't
chat, they
remember
can-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does remember, but that's just I know that they're saying it was going to be a super spreader event. So
Yeah. There's
No, that's what they were telling him, right?
Yeah.
Well, did he have his jockstrap on his face?
that would have been a great
I mean,
meme.
this is a public health crisis.
Yeah, guys,
not on
do
the
your
Super
part.
Bowl.
Yeah. Do your part. Stop the
Do your
super
part.
spreader. Put
Well,
what
They could have jabbed him on the way in to every
Don't
one.
go,
You
don't
know,
go.
I mean, isn't every NFL stadium supposed to be a super vax site?
Yeah, they probably aerosoled it, so it's,
I do gotta say though, the memification of Bernie, like him being embraced by Alyssa Milano now.
Oh,
This
God.
shows that
Oh, my God.
real liberals have embraced Bernie because he's no longer a threat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep,
Exactly.
the memes everywhere. It was like, okay, that's enough. Yeah, they love it. He's a meme now. He's become a meme.
Yeah.
He
Official meme.
fulfilled his purpose.
Yep.
Legacy.
He doesn't
Yeah.
have to worry about the legacy.
Yep.
And everybody can just celebrate him.
He's
off
not
into
a
the
nader.
sunset.
Yeah, and
Celebrate.
just that. I mean, I hope the little mitten company is doing well. I really do mean.
I do
that,
too.
honestly,
I do.
but
Yeah, I
good for
honestly
them.
do too.
But
Good for them.
yeah, he's a meme. He's a sticker. He's like I've seen people actually in Chicago because they love him here. They love him. They still got all their signs up, and there's a bunch of stickers of him with the little mittens on in his chairs.
Unbelievable.
Everything's a meme, honestly. Everything is a
life
meme.
is a meme, right?
Yes.
Is this
I
our
just don't know if it's the millennials or the CIA doing it. And I get
Right.
really confused at first. And then I'm like, oh, okay.
No, it's probably Zoomers. Millennials are.
Gen Z, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah.
Zoomers. Yeah.
They're funnier. Wait, I was
Yeah.
gonna because I'm
True.
31. How old are you, Franco? You're close to my age, I
28.
think. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we're both millennials. So
I can't tell. I don't understand a lot of Zoomer humor.
me either.
They
I
have
try. Like,
really weird sense of humor.
my cousin, he tries to keep like he's a 14. He'll send me stuff. I'm like, what? What do you mean? He was like explaining like Wall Street bets to me at first. I was like, okay.
I have two Zoomers in the house, and then I'm the angry Gen Xer.
I'm a Gen X
So,
too.
Explain.
Oz is our boomer.
I'm the happy boomer.
You are a happy boomer. You're not the typical boomer. When I think of boomer, I think of Karen, like angry, ill-informed, CNN watching. It doesn't matter if it's a Fox Karen or a CNN Karen. They're kind of all the same to me.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I think I dated a few of those in my lifetime, so I learned my lesson. So
Everywhere.
and that's where I'm at. This is our last clip for tonight, right?
Yes.
And
I believe
it's a doozy. So
Jimmy's going to finish off the night.
yeah, he's
Are we
gonna
ready?
finish off near a tendon.
Bottoms up,
Karen
kids. Get
Tandon
your
is
drinks.
Biden's latest middle finger to the left. Joe Biden has picked Nara Tandon, a fierce critic of Bernie Sanders and the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, to head the Office of Management and Budget. The move is just the latest sign that Biden will govern from the center right, offering nothing to the left. The center right? That's the right. Yes. That's straight up corporation right wing bullshit. And by the way, Nara Tandon is worse than a middle finger to the left. She's an eviction notice. She's a kick to the groin, and before you know it, all your stuff is on fire. Nara Tandon has made it her life's work to make sure you can't have the basic necessities of life that other countries take for granted. That's what Nara Tandon, that's what she spent her whole life doing, denying you basic services that the rest of the world takes for granted. And just so you know who she is. So who is Nara Tandon? So here's why they want to kill Julian Assange, because he reveals their war crimes. So this is an email from Faz Shakur, who was Bernie Sanders' old campaign manager. This is before he was Bernie's campaign manager, and they were all working together.
And he wanted to win.
Bernie got his campaign manager. Isn't that hilarious?
Yeah.
So this is when they're all working together, and she was very pro. Nara Tandon was pro Libyan war, right? She was for the illegal invasion and watch what else she was for. So this is Faz Shakur. He says, I don't think it's fair that we create our own domestic problems and then we ask other nations to pay for it. You see the adverse incentive problem here, right? If we think we can make money off an incursion, we'll do it. That's a serious policy, messaging, moral problem for our foreign policy, I think. So he's responding to Naratanen, who said this about what we should do in Libya with their oil. She
Group
said,
hug.
we reported this before, which is why Naratanen then tweets bad faith attacks at us because we revealed her, and this is what we revealed. She advocated for stealing Libya's oil. And here's how she said it. She said, we have a giant deficit. They have a lot of oil. Most Americans would choose not to engage in the world because of that deficit. Engage in the world, that's code speak for bomb the shit out of poor brown countries and steal their natural resources. Engage in the world.
Where's Richie?
Like we engaged in Iraq, we engaged in Afghanistan, we engaged in Somalia, this is what they call engaging, bombing the shit out of poor people who can't defend themselves and then stealing their natural resources. So she says, most Americans would choose not to engage in the world because of our deficit. If we want to continue to engage in the world, bomb brown people and steal their shit, gestures like having oil-rich countries partially pay us back doesn't seem crazy to me.
But that's efficient, Jimmy. Isn't that efficient? You just drop billions.
Don't bomb these countries and we're isolationists.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you not want to spread democracy? Come on.
Those bombs spread democracy. Don't you know? Like when you bomb, like it just like spread democracy across the land.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Isn't that's what we're all about here in America? God.
That's what happens when you ruin people's livelihoods, their economy, their agriculture. They just feel really hugged in near attendance democracy.
It's so funny when Jimmy says like, "Oh yeah, we have good Christian bombs." No, they hug you to death.
Right.
Like a python. It's very slow and deliberate.
Yeah.
I have to say, this kind of stuff really makes me happy because Richie Medhurst, he starts talking faster and louder and the veins start popping out of his forehead. And then he goes, thank you very much. It's like, oh God, talk about lighting him up. So Niratanden's going to be a thumbs down for just about everybody in our club. What do we got here? Did we have a thumbs up for the no Budweiser Super Bowl ad this year, but people kept looking for it? Is that true? I thought I saw Clydesdales.
Yeah, no. They donated the money for Super Bowl ads to coronavirus vaccination awareness effort.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Did they jack up the Clydesdales? That's what I want to know.
Nope,
Did
no
they get their
Clydesdales.
virus vaccinations first?
I'm sure.
Such a good company they are. What an example they're setting for the rest of us.
Yeah, they
Come
lost.
on.
They lost me when they got rid of Eagle chips and sold them to Lay's, to PepsiCo. They ruined it. Best chips and nuts on the market, and they gave it
Has
away.
anybody checked how much glyphosate's in the vaccine as opposed to how much is in Budweiser?
What's the difference between the beer and
I don't know. I'll let you know. I'll taste both, and I'll let you know. Okay.
Perfect. All right.
That's what
I know a
they
few labs too. If you
Wait,
need.
so they donated the cost of an ad or whatever they were going to do to. That's what they donated.
Right.
Yep.
But then
And
everyone
what ad
knows
time for the Super Bowls are millions and millions of
Right.
dollars.
I'm
It can
so
be
glad.
30 million for 30 seconds.
And
Sure sales
Facebook's
are
gonna
down.
really clamp down this week too, just so it can boost the morale.
If you have to have, like I was reading, there's like government, documents. We're all in again about pushing this particular plan of action, and you really don't hear, in my opinion, enough people talking about just like the fact of the matter that we're essentially like lab rats for this vaccine.
Because if you do, you're an anti-vaxxer and you're being
I know.
attacked. You can't question the narrative at all. And that's what these vaccine awareness efforts really are. I mean, I saw a propaganda piece on Facebook the other day, which showed the history of vaccinations and how much we've trusted them as a country. And they went all the way back to World War II when we came together to eradicate all of these different diseases. How can we turn our backs on that? Because we're stupid, is basically what they're saying.
They prey upon. I was just gonna say they prey upon people not understanding how to do research. Like people don't know how to do scientific research because they don't teach us that in school unless you went to university for biology or for chemistry. But then even still, they filtered like the studies that go against the mainstream narrative are underfunded. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you like the fund, like people that rely on grants for studies, they're not gonna get the grant if it's gonna go against what these corporations want the narrative to be.
Exactly. They
That's
want
why the
you to find an
independent
answer.
the independent scientists now live outside of the United States.
A lot of them
because they
do.
can't live and make a living in the United States on independent study work because it's non-existent. They've completely eradicated it. And I also have a copy of the report, which my favorite is where they target single, uneducated mothers because they're more likely to not question it. And they paid millions of dollars for this study and then blasted it within their pharmaceutical pieces so that they could target that specifically for marketing.
That's criminal.
Doesn't that make you feel better? And the fact that it's not what they say it is anyway. In a biological sense, it's called gene therapy, and the safety studies will be done at the end of the year.
It's just, yeah, like everything, like Franco, you brought up a good point about like they don't teach you how to research, and then there's that combined with the fact that they know people for the most part, unless you're studying this every day or, doing what we do, you're not really paying attention. I don't fault people for that. People are busy. I just hate that people are then taken advantage of because we've gotten to the point where it's like some people are so desperate, they'll do anything to get back to quote normal. We're never going back to normal, but
never going back to normal.
No.
The Great Reset. Klaus told you.
Thanks, Klaus. Appreciate it.
You just didn't listen.
So I see Richie snuck in here. He snuck in here. You brought him? Yeah.
Go ahead. I can't see it. I've got
All right. Biden is killing people in Syria, Iran, and Venezuela with Trump sanctions. That's not the lesser of two evils. It's the exact same evil. Literally no difference whatsoever. So vote blue no matter who, right?
Yep.
Big difference.
He said nothing will fundamentally change. And then when you tell liberals that, they're like, no, but Trump is racist.
Right.
How is Biden not racist?
Right.
And do you want to see that, like, you can go to almost every single major news network right now and website, and one of their highlights is see all of Biden's actions on one chart. He's really, breaking it up. He's
knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, knocking it out of the park. Look at all. He's done more in the last 3 weeks than ever in the last 4 years.
And that's not necessarily like as far as his executive orders, they're not lying, but like what has he done? Like, because he signed so many of them. That's just one example. It's like, but okay, doesn't that concern anybody? Does anyone care? Does anyone even know what an executive order is? No.
Does anybody follow it?
No.
Right.
A lot of them are rollbacks that just take it back to the Obama era, and a lot of those weren't necessarily the best things in the world either. So I will say again, we got Trump because of, I believe, the Obama era.
Free Assange.
So that's
40 years of neoliberalism.
Yeah,
they just bombed Somalia, and then I shared that over to a Black Lives Matter page that I'm in the DMV, like in Facebook. And I'm like, look, Black Lives Matter in other countries too. Look at what the Joe Biden and Harris administration are doing. And then somebody replies, and then they're like, oh, you're telling people that they should be like, you're being racist because you're telling Black people that they should be feeling for these terrorists that are being bombed. Like you're saying that they, just because they're Black, that they should be relating to these terrorists. Now, you really think that we're still there for terrorism?
Right.
Like, how do you think these terrorists are created?
Yeah, we created them.
We want their natural resources, and then we overthrow these democratically elected governments. I was explaining that to him. And then they're like, you're still telling people to identify with terrorists. And I told them about like the 90% kill rate of innocent civilians in these countries. And these people just want to think that they did the right thing by voting for Joe Biden. They don't want to come to grips that, no, like we're still committing all these evil actions in all these other countries.
Yeah, go ahead and comfort yourself by calling them terrorists when they're just common everyday people from another country. So basically, you're lying to yourself by classifying them as a terrorist.
And by bombing them, you're creating more terrorists.
Yeah, exactly. And we armed them too. We know that, right? The Taliban was straight up ass armed by Obama.
But we need to fight them and keep them busy. So we need to keep fighting them. And that's why we can't leave, because they might come back.
The mental gymnastics you have to do to even make that like argument, really, and to just like convince yourself that you did the right thing by voting for Biden. That's insane. Like, just to like people just ignore everything going on. Like, and that was the same with Obama, because like I said, I always bring this up and I'm still bitter about it. I think this was in 2011. I wrote a term paper or something about how it was like when I found out that Obama was like the drone king. And I did bad. And I, not to brag, but I'm a pretty good writer. I did well in all my other papers. I failed it because I was criticizing Obama. He was
of
like,
course.
Well, like he didn't like the position because I said he was using like increasing drone warfare. And then I talked about the NDAA here at home and domestic terrorism. And look where we are now. So
well, we know that schooling is indoctrination. It is not actual, and that's a sad reality of our university system.
Yeah, it's pretty gutsy of you to call out the second coming of Jesus Christ. I mean, no wonder you got some background. We've got the Wipey Award is going to go to some. I think this is a first timer for this person, but our sister, Comrade Misty
Putin.
Putin's buddy. She got this, and Anna Navarro. Oh my God, we have a president of the United States and a first lady of the United States who are actually loving and affectionate towards each other. 3 hearts. Comrade Misty comes back. Frankly, I don't give a fuck on the South. What they do on South. Where's the $2,000 check?
They're so cute, though.
Oh yeah, they're so cute.
I loved a mouth.
So do you think she forgave him for Tara Reid? She's got to know it's real.
Yeah, but I'm not going to.
Did she get a COVID test first?
No, come on, everybody. We're supposed
we wanna be safe.
we're supposed to swallow a little bit and do that sort of stuff. And it's time for Fee Says, Shanda.
Fee says, don't let politicians distract from the fact that they're failing the working class of this country. They are public servants. Empathy is one thing. Using human emotion to manipulate people to manufacture consent for political narrative and control is another.
Yay, Fee! Yay! Got it again. Oh, anyway, this has been a great show, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Do you want to plug your channels for us, please, Franco?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on. I had a blast here. You can find me at Frank Analysis on YouTube. I also have a backup channel in case YouTube takes me off because they're one step from doing it. It's Frank Analysis -backup. I'm also on Rockfin at rockfin.com/Frank Analysis. I'm also on Odyssey, and on Twitter I'm at B43Franco.
Fantastic. Allie, tell them about your show. When is it coming up or anything? Or you have any details yet? We know it's
I've got the thumbnail made, I think. So doing that, just give me like one more week. Within a week, that's it. But otherwise, you can find me, my writing at alliealexandra.substack.com. And you can follow me on Twitter. It's Allie, then 5 underscores, and then an A. I made it a while ago, and now it's too late to change it. So, I don't know. We're getting there. So
not 4 underscores.
That's great. I heard today they're salivating to take down Substack too somewhere.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's so.
I'm on Medium as well.
That's all right. We're all Raw Media has all of our sisters and brothers and affiliates. We have your back. We're going to be there with you no matter where you are. If you can go over to Rockfin and sub through any of our sisters and brothers channels, go over to Franco, sub through him, Jackson, Combo Couch, or Raw Media itself. Sub over there. But by all means, please follow all of our sisters and brothers, because those follows elevate us up in the stack, and we really do appreciate doing that. I have to make a correction. We said subs on Saturday night on Beating the Boomer, right? 1,000. We broke 1,000 subs.
Followers.
Followers. It was followers. We get confused because we're still recovering YouTube addicts. So we have as of now we have 1,337 followers over there, which is pretty good because we started over again over there basically. Right. And so we're working our way, but please follow, sub all of our sisters and brothers over at YouTube, and we we really just appreciate it. Amber, what do you got coming up?
Well, let's see. I'm working on some stuff for the end of the month, doing another healthcare storytelling workshop, probably the last weekend of the month, and taking this week off.
Right on. Right on.
Nice, you deserve it. So we got a lot of stuff. So tomorrow night, Savage Joy, you can catch her here on Roar Media, is going to have Lee Camp stop by. So that should be a good interview. At the same time, Suzanne Murphy and I will be doing Truth Be Known. We'll be talking about the Wall Street bets. And then later this week, we got a couple of people lined up. And I'm still trying to get Pasta into the accidental activist chair so we can hear his accidental activist story. And then, of course, Beauty and the Boomer.
Yeah, you got to get Franco on accidental activist too,
because
he's got sounds like a good story. Yeah, it should be really good. And again, just love this show tonight. You guys nailed it. We had a lot of fun, and again, we do the quirky stuff. We like to have a laugh because there's not too much to laugh about these days. So you want to come here and decompress. You're all welcome. Join us. Come here for an hour or so. Have some fun. Have some seriousness. But we want to leave you with a good feeling. So anyway, what are we going out with tonight?
This is Grandson.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, too, that we're going to be working on our Discord channel for fans.
Oh, yay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We've already joined. We're on Franco's Discord. We're on Jackson's. And we need to get on some other ones, too. So
we're just going to have a big party.
Yep, we are. Thank you. Thank you so much, Franco Analysis, Ali Alexandra, Amber King, and Shanda Masta. We're going out. You picked this. What's the name of this, Shanda?
This is called Rock Bottom, and it's Grandson. He's one of those activist musicians we've been looking for a couple of years now.
Fantastic. Thanks. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great evening. See you tomorrow.
Bye.
Good night.
Tell me, how did we get here? And where the fuck do we go now? First I was floating through the atmosphere, but now I'm looking up at rock bottom. Everybody told me ever since I was young I should buy my time, a couple kids, pick a fence, maybe and a nice income. I'll get you some peace of mind, stepping on everything, it'll be just fine. Then I look, I'll find that my stuff left me behind. Send shivers down my spine. Tell me, how did we get here? And where the fuck do we go now? First I was floating through the atmosphere, but now I'm looking up at rock bottom. Next door neighbor say I better get a 9 to 5. Talking about change, boy, there's nothing but a waste of time. Now I know I wish that I read the signs, but and now we got from row seats what the system for. Cause look who's in control. Tell me, how did we get here? And where the fuck do we go now? First I was floating through the atmosphere, but now I'm looking up at rock bottom. Da 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 Cause look who's in control. Tell me, how did we get here? And where the fuck do we go now? First I was floating through the atmosphere, but now I'm looking up at rock bottom.